Picture this. You're alone on stage. The lights are shining on your face. Oh, thank you. And the lights are shining on your face. You're totally alone on stage. And you can't see anybody, but everyone can see you. Feeling kind of insecure, but you keep going. You don't know whether your materials will land or how they will actually land. And you listen. You strain to listen for any reaction. It could be a laughter, a grunt, a chuckle, anything. Worst case scenario, absolute dead. And your friends and family often ask you, so what do you do all day? Or, are you going to go get a full-time job? But you persist, even when you fail, even when you humiliate yourself. You keep going and going because you're so passionate about what you do. I'm sure you guys can relate to this, right? So whenever I tell people that I've done stand-up comedy, they're like, wow, that takes guts. Or they'll say, I can never do that. But I want to tell you that with some basic training, you have the basic ingredients to do it. Yes, you. You don't believe me? Well, if someone were to tell me over 30 years ago that I was going to be standing on the stage over at Comedy Palace on Claremont Mesa Boulevard, telling strangers, sometimes drunken strangers, stories about my painful experiences with learning to date at the age of 37, I wouldn't have believed you either. So I'm from Taipei, Taiwan originally. My family came when I was 9 years old. We're a very traditional family. And we had a very particular vision of the perfect American life. See if you can relate. Getting great grades in school, getting to a great college like UC Berkeley, become an MD or a PhD, and if you can't do that, then you marry someone who has one of those degrees. Yep, and you meet this wonderful person through personal introductions, get together, have a big house, have a boy and a girl in this order, and never get fat. Never. Never go above 110 pounds, okay? So imagine all the pressure that I put myself under so that I can be the perfect Taiwanese daughter. And at the same time, I was facing a lot of bullying and teasing at school. And I wanted so much to perfect my English so that I can fit in. Because I really didn't want to stand out. I wanted to be accepted. Well, things didn't quite turn out the way I had planned. Fast forward to college, I took 3 semesters of organic chemistry. I stopped my pre-med career path after that. I got into graduate school in sociology, PhD program, and I got out with a PhD in dating. After going through an extreme makeover, Asian edition, I went on the biggest bar on earth, Match.com. To date, I've gone on more than 80 first dates. I was totally committed. Yes, totally. And I met quite a few PhDs, MDs, and a podiatrist. But no sparks. And I was exploring corporate career paths, and I was struggling. I was getting overworked and all that. And I really found out I didn't have a lot of boundaries. I would do everything. I would skip breaks. And with guys, I wanted to be a good girl. I wanted to find my soulmate. And some of these guys wanted to change my mind. But I didn't let them. But I have to say, because of all the things that didn't work out for me, I was able to start exploring all these different interests, like theater and improvisational comedy, right? And then later, stand-up comedy, lots of training, and getting into educational technology, and also entrepreneurship. This is my second venture. It doesn't get easier. But I've learned so much about myself in terms of what my gifts are. And it's because I went back and took a look at all the things I've done, and I connected all the dots and came up with my purpose. I've learned to stand up to bullies, men or women. I've learned to stand up to excessive workloads, burnout. And that's still something I'm still working on. And I've learned to stand up for my values, my beliefs, instead of just nodding quietly to whatever is presented to me. And I realized that all of us have so much gifts that are still within. I bet there's so much more to each one of you that you still haven't explored. I mean, thinking back, I could never predicted that I would be in the transformation field today and be a second-time entrepreneur, right? But I know there is even more possible. So for me, it's my job to keep pushing or lean in, right? And it's also my job to help my clients to do so. But in terms of completing this journey for all of us, right? Here's something I've learned. It takes courage, but it doesn't take 100% clarity of path. It doesn't take perfection. And in fact, perfectionism will keep us from making progress because we're paralyzed, right? But what I found is that you could just take one easy little step and you're making progress. And the path, life, will start to show you what's next. But what's important is taking that very first step, right? So think about a big project that you've been putting off. Think about a humongous dream that scares you shitless. But there's a yearning inside of you that wants it to happen so badly, but you just haven't made it happen. If you're ready to stand up for this dream, if you're ready to achieve more than ever you thought possible, what would that be? And what would it take for you to fully commit to it, like I have in finding my soulmate? So that's my invitation to you, is to think about that one thing that if you only have 6 months to live, what is that one important thing you want to get done? And the next step to start achieving it. I have a handout for everybody. There are some reflection questions for you that you can take home with you. And it also has information about what I do, but it's really I appreciate you so much.